Outside receiver corner routes, also known as C routes, are one of the best ways to beat players on the outside that have a KO ability. Typically, you're going to find this type of setup in defense, such as cover 3 or cover 4. The thing is with this, if you guys understand whether or not you want to use motion, this is going to help open up this route even more. So the trick today that we're going to break down is choosing a trips formation where the outside receiver is motionable, meaning that he's off the line of scrimmage, allowing a motion to the inside that's going to not end up with anyone else having to reshift, allowing a smooth motion snap. When you guys use a motion C route, you can use a streak to the outside receiver to pull a deep zone, even if it's pressed in a cover 3 or a cover 4. And this is going to allow you to work the sidelines for a big gain. Press defenders in deep zones, such as thirds or fourths, are the meta. And the reason for that is that a knockout ability on these players has eyes in the back of its head. Notice how with this particular setup, we use this motion of Randy Moss to the inside. When we snap the ball, he's going to stumble to the inside a few steps, then work his way up the seam, and then work his way back out into the corner. This creates lag or pull for the route that is basically working up the seam. It also, if you noticed, pulls the outside defender further in towards the numbers, which makes getting to the throw down and outside a lot tougher. And this opens up major yardage for us. Now, that last example was a cover 3 based defense. What we're going to do is show you guys the cover 4. But first, make sure that you guys are subscribed right here to the Madden YouTube channel, as I am dropping fire 5 days a week with long form videos in the morning and short form content in the afternoon. We just crossed 32,000 subscribers. That's all you guys and the love you've shown to me. I appreciate all the support. Let's keep the wave rolling. So within a cover 4 defense, it's going to be very easy to beat this with this concept if you just snap the ball against off coverage with a seam and a C route. You don't even really need motion. Now, the thing is, however, that most players, when they play a cover 4 based defense, are going to press the outside corner. And the reason for that is that outside quarter zones are responsible for more sideline than they are seam. Therefore, they drop much slower. And because when they drop much slower, this makes them able to kind of get back to a throw underneath, especially when they have that KO ability. So what I'm going to do here is just run that static C route, no motion with a seam. And I want you to watch how Tariq Woolen is much more available to get back to this throw. And while we completed it, it still can be a little bit scary. Now, the other value to this tip is that when your receiver is off the line of scrimmage from a spread out formation that's trips alignment, you're going to have the ability for the on receiver to get an extra step or two ahead. If I were to contrast this with a formation where the middle receiver in this trips look is actually also off the line of scrimmage, this is going to create less of a spacing. These small differences are major as it pertains to the ability for you to get a receiver open. So notice that Hester and Randy Moss are both off the line of scrimmage in this alignment. This is the Trey Y flex alignment. And when I go to run this, yes, Hester can pull for him, but he's not that extra step or so downfield. And you see that we almost took a hit and dropped that ball. This is something you don't want to risk. So make sure that you're basing in formations that allow you to have the middle receiver on the line of scrimmage with the outside receiver off the line of scrimmage. It seems like such a minor detail, but it makes a major difference. 1 yard is the difference between catching the ball or dropping it. So on the wide side of the field, you definitely are going to want to utilize more motion. As I mentioned, this is going to just create a little bit more time for the C route to develop to the outside while that seam route can pull down the field. So we do this little motion snap, work Moss back to the sideline, down and outside, conservative catch, and we're able to fall down without any risk of a KO getting back to us. But that's on the wide side of the field. What we're going to do now is show you guys that on the short side of the field, the way that zones are pulled is vastly different than on the wide side. So what I'm going to do right here is start off with a cover 3 base defense, short side of the field. Again, we're just going to utilize a static C route with a seam. No motion required here. Of course, with this concept, I would probably still give myself a check down in the flat underneath and maybe run a hitch post with this concept out of this trio weak formation. Snapping the ball, using the C route to pull, and then throwing this route to the short sideline, you see that we're able to catch this ball. There's no contact right there. We threw the ball out of bounds. So once again, the middle receiver in the trips look is on the line of scrimmage preferably. you put him on a streak. Outside receiver, we're not motioning, is on a C route. Give yourself a check down underneath. That way, if they zone blitz, you can throw quick out of the backfield. Or if they zone drop like crazy, you can check it down underneath the zone drop and then do whatever you want with everyone else. Snapping the ball, letting the seam pull, and then throwing the C route into the sideline and falling down. No contact by the KO ability. And even if they want to play that cover 4 and press, you are going to see the same results. So once again, middle receiver on the pull route, do whatever you want with everyone else. In this example, we'll use a flat route to Hester, a ghost route to Dickerson, and then we'll go ahead and put a deep curl in the middle of the field to the tight end. This is just a super flood to the short side. Snapping the ball, Y is the pull route. We're gonna throw a down pass lead to X. Look how open that is. No KO, no nothing. The easiest throw possible. Your opponent is gonna have to respect this with zone drops. Now all of a sudden they're playing a Mabel call. The middle of the field is wide open. You've attacked the sideline successfully against knockout meta. Now, if you guys are enjoying today's tip, make sure you guys go check out my strategy website, gridirongameplans.gg. Undeniably, the best deal in tips Madden. $9.95 a month unlocks everything. That's everything I've been doing all year long. All the game plans, of which there are 11 on both sides of the ball, and well over 230 vault tips, which explain what the pro Madden players are doing and how to stop it. Most important part of the game is staying on top of the meta, the most effective tactics available. And we do that as well inside our members only Discord, where if you guys are subscribed, you can participate in our weekly lab sessions. Hopefully I'll see you guys in that Discord. Otherwise, let's show you guys how to freestyle this out of other formations. So as I mentioned, on-off alignment definitely matters, but sometimes when you motion, you're going to notice that other players will move. This is problematic for some players. It's not that big a deal as long as you pay attention and get your snap timing down. So take note right here in this Trey Y flex, I do this motion. This is actually clean. We don't have to worry too much about any of this. He's going to work out to the sideline. And obviously if I had freeformed that better, we would have been fine. I just wanted to show you the motion here in that regard. However, if I were to run the other formation, the Trey Y flex strong, where the running back is actually on the side of the trips, you'll actually notice that when we do this motion all of a sudden will result in other players resetting. So when I motion Hester to the inside, notice how Demaryius Thomas resets. This changes the snap timing. Sometimes that receiver runs a little bit too narrow to the line, might bump into people. So make sure that you're labbing your formation. It doesn't mean that you can't get open. In fact, sometimes when the receiver does end up bumping into the offensive line, this actually gives him more lag. So what you're gonna see right here is he kind of gets a chip, then releases up the seam. You've got the outside receiver pulling, and look at all that turf. It does come with the downside being that the pass rush has more time to get home, but this isn't really the end of the world if you have a formation you want to do this out of, where sometimes the receiver chips. The only problem is that sometimes that contact will end up causing the player to maybe wig out, stop his route. So avoid that, or just be aware that that is a possibility. But C routes on the wide side and the short side of the field are really unutilized. I think that it's something that every player should add into every offense. It's a little bit tough given that most players like to run bunch and bunch strong. But if you guys run any trips formations at all in your playbook, this is a great way to steal chunk yardage from pretty much every major defense in the game. And I hope you guys enjoyed today's video. I'm out of here. I'll see you guys tomorrow. Until then, this is Zan. Get the lab and good luck.